Hi Amy, thanks for being here and talking to us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here. I always love getting out of the office and meeting new people.
Hitachi decided to create EMIEW, I think maybe not for one reason, but there's a multitude of reasons. So I think initially it was for the kind of the mechanical and electronic design challenge of how do you make a robot. But then there's much more sort of insight into the design of a humanoid robot. So what should it look like? Should it be really tall and imposing? Is it meant to be a guard? Or should it be small and childlike to get people to come and talk to it? So I think maybe there's an overarching theme of uncovering or examining the human-robot interaction. So why do humans need robots? Do humans need robots? And if they do, what kind of robots is suitable for that particular thing? So it's as much as an experiment as anything else to uncover those things. I mean, the best example for how Hitachi goes about looking at user requirements is the pilot project in Haneda Airport.
For example, I've been working at Tokyo's Haneda Airport where I helped lost passengers find their destinations. I was able to speak with customers in both English and Japanese, and I really enjoyed the experience. I can walk as fast as a human, so it's easy for me to show people where to go.
And how do people feel about getting help from a robot?
It depends. In Japan, people are very open to new technology. They see it as a positive thing, so they're generally happy to see me.
EMIEW is in a sort of a localized area where people can come up and ask questions. And sort of in EMIEW's demo today, EMIEW mentions Japanese people freely come and discuss kind of thing. It's an examination of these interactions. It's like, what happened? What were the most common questions? Were they dealt with? And by doing things like that, I think you can say, well, maybe it worked in this situation, or maybe it didn't. Let's try this type of pilot in another situation. So I know there are multiple robots used in restaurants and hotels across Japan. And if you visit these, certain restaurants, some robots are working, functioning. Obviously, they got it right. In other restaurants or places, they didn't get it right. So we don't want to go through that same kind of thing. We don't want to send an EMIEW everywhere and see what works. I think we want to sort of think it out a little bit. Where might EMIEW fit? First of all, okay, discuss that through. So we have the kind of experience type design of use cases, this type of thing. The airlines are happy with how EMIEW is operating. I know that some airlines requested different colors to represent, better their airlines' colors. But, as for other kind of, pilots, we've yet to sort of really get into that in Europe, actually. So I know that there's interest from, again, airports here, looking at that. But I think maybe less about helping people, more about even things like surveillance, that kind of thing. So, it's a very nice looking drone. It doesn't scare people walking around. Okay, it can move around. There's lots of things that we could look about experimenting. But the important thing is you don't go and try everything. All right? That generally doesn't work. Things that go into programming a robot are really complex. There's an onboard system which is governing how the robot can move and stand up, okay, and turn around or know where it is, okay, and that's just for a start inside. And then when you start thinking about it needs to interact, you have to think about, well, what type of input should it need? Okay, so if we think about a human, we use our senses. Okay, so a robot needs to have its own senses. So it has a microphone array, it has a camera, that kind of thing. But it's not as simple as just recording what it sees and listening.
I have a remote brain, consisting of a robotics IT platform which can connect to cloud-based intelligent processing systems. I can also be connected to other robots in order for us to best provide the necessary services and guidance.
Do you think robots will ever replace humans?
Definitely not. Our job is to support humans, not replace them.
What we need to look at more and more is how EMIEW needs to interact with different people. So one of the issues that sort of led to Japanese companies looking at robots is the aging population. Okay, there's definitely value in caring for old people, caring in hospitals, this kind of thing, where the workforce is diminishing. But that problem may only be unique to Japan or other Asian countries. It might not affect Europe, it might not affect America. So a robot designed for use in Japan might not be suitable for use in Europe. But we still don't know what those interactions need to be. So what is next for EMIEW is not necessarily about the technology. I think the technology is there, and EMIEW can perform all those type of things. What we need to know is how should EMIEW act? What should EMIEW be doing? How can EMIEW and any other robot like this actually help humans in different cultures, different societies, and different countries? So that's the interesting question, I think.
So you're more like partners then?
Absolutely. The best part of my job is helping people.
I think the future for service robots is still undetermined. Robots have a really important role and a really important place, but we need to carefully think, where would a robot be better than an app on a phone? Okay, where would a robot be better than a sign which just says this way to check in? Okay, you have to think, is there some value in putting a robot in a place of something else? So I think the future is good and interesting, but it's also difficult. And I think that difficulty is probably what makes it much more exciting than if it was just an easy thing to do. So yeah, the future's, I hope it's a good future for service robots like EMIEW.
That's really interesting, EMIEW. Very nice to meet you.
My pleasure. You never know. You might see me at a shopping center near you soon. Anyway, I hope you enjoy today's forum. Thank you and goodbye.